So this is a comment response video. I mentioned in my last video that 3 days after the publication of a video, I'm going to do my response videos. So if you post your comments in the comment section, I'm going to select a number of them and try to respond to them. This is in response to the video entitled "The AI Prompter and the Dismal Future of Graphic Design." It really was a response video, and it was about this idea. It's really, I'm going to link to it here. It's really about this idea that AI prompting has terrible ramifications for the future of graphic design. Let's take a look at the first comment. The first comment that we have here overlaps pretty clearly with a couple of questions that I often get. This one is, I'm having a hard time imagining anything worthwhile or memorable that graphic designers have ever done. I mean, what do they really do besides make Coca-Cola logos and porn? I mean, that is a fair criticism. I'm asked all the time for recommendations for stuff. Some of this stuff is going to be self-serving because they're friends of mine. I'm going to pop some, I will in fact pop a few QR codes on the screen after this. And but here we have something that is a younger, potentially younger, fresher version of what I'm doing. If you want to follow a 20-year-old art student in New York City who goes to Cooper Union, in full disclosure, this is my boy Henry. But I would suggest if you're not 57 years old and you're closer to 20, that this might be something that you might be interested in. This person is both an artist and a graphic designer. The second thing, like what graphic designers have done that aren't porn and are not Coca-Cola logos. The next person that I can think of is Peter Shahalsky. Peter is an amazing artist who I would highly suggest you check his stuff out. He's an amazing artist. I think that he would hesitate to be called a graphic designer, although he's one of the best graphic designers I know. This is definitely worth checking out. So I would also suggest that you check out the work of Cleon Peterson. Cleon Peterson was educated at Art Center and here at Cranbrook Academy of Art. Cleon is a contemporary artist that makes politically charged work. He is also clearly a graphic designer. So this idea, again, I'm going to pop the QR codes on the screen. You can take a photograph of them. There are links to all three of these people in the description as well, so you can check that out. This idea, if we go back to it, right, this idea in terms of the more sardonic comments that I received, I appreciated this one. I have a degree in prompting from Yale. Now I only have 2 weeks to live. I mean, the notion in my video, I mentioned the idea of either teaching or taking a prompting class. I can't think of anything that I'd rather punch myself in the face than do that. And the notion that we're going to get degrees in prompting raises the issue of that. One of the very first comments that now has been deleted was from somebody who I thought made a very good point and was a little bit upset about, not upset, but a little irritated by the video. They mentioned a programming language called Rust and some other machine learning technologies and AI technologies that I'm unaware of. And they said that I basically need to pull my head out of my ass and figure out how people are actually using AI in order to make compelling work. And my retort was, and my comment is not that the problem resides with that individual. That individual pushing the boundaries of artificial intelligence and utilizing the tools in a kind of, in a more, for lack of a better word, intelligent way is not the problem. The problem is Adobe Creative Cloud. I mean, I like Adobe products to a degree, but it's a hard case to make to suggest, and here's a double negative for you. In Adobe Creative Cloud beta Photoshop version, there is a generative fill box that uses AI. It is literally a box that pops up where you erase part of an image, you start typing, and then you select from one of three options. That is going to be the de facto method with which people end up, or something like that is going to end up being the de facto method with which people make AI. So learning a programming language called Rust or using machine learning in other more sophisticated ways, I would highly suggest people, designers, learn those tools. But the simple fact of the matter is that the overwhelming majority of people are not going to use the tools in that fashion. That's not the problem. The problem are the downstream ramifications of artificial intelligence image creation to the design field, the ease with which those images are created, and further, and more importantly, the economic ramifications of that and the flattening that will happen within the design field in terms of the creation of imagery. Here we see, I'm not going to read the names, you can see them on the screen. We need to shame prompters out of society. Well, you know, that's another serious point, and I'm doing my small part to do that, which is that I don't think that the actual process of prompting is inherently evil. I think that some of the comments that are later in this episode raise the issue of what the large language models, what the artificial intelligence has been trained on. They've been trained on other artists' work, and you know, you can look at my daughter as an actress and studying screenwriting, and you know, in terms of her auditions, as an example, they have been completely shut down in New York because of the writers' strike. So the Screenwriters Guild are aware of the potential problems of this technology and are taking an active stance to combat that. I personally am unaware of graphic designers and designers in general who are standing up in the face of this and saying, don't train your models on our shit. You know, that there is a copyright component to this entire picture, and there is an intellectual property rights component to this entire picture that is being left out of the equation with regard to design culture. Now, feel free to sound off in the comments and say, hey, Elliott, again, pull your head out of your ass. There, the AIGA or a loose group of designers have already filed suit. That very well may happen, or have already happened. And if that's the case, I'm an idiot, which would be no surprise. But I don't see that. Chris Do and The Future have an incredibly popular graphic design YouTube channel, and that issue didn't come up. Not that it should necessarily in that specific video, but there was a kind of I think lack of caution that permeated that video, and I think that video really, to some degree, represents the zeitgeist, the kind of emotional, intellectual temperature that you find within the design community. That, oh, these tools are going to be fine. They're going to help us gain more time with regard to our other creative pursuits. I mean, Chris talked about the idea of that these will free us up to think about philosophy and to paint. That is not going to happen. Okay, let's take a look at another one. At Torgo_ says, we provide the AI with prompts, they create the end product, but in reality, the inverse is true. These tools work best as a prompt for our creations. And, you know, I actually know a number of really sophisticated artisan designers, everyone from Mason Goolsby to my boy Henry Earls, who was the TikTok that I mentioned there, who are in fact embracing, or to some degree have embraced these tools, the AI tools, as prompts for their creations. I've seen some incredible stuff. So again, you know, my original video is a polemic. It's suggesting that there are a lot of really potential negative side effects to this that we are not dealing with forthrightly as a kind of community. But it's not to suggest that intelligent artisan designers will not be able to leverage these tools to powerful ends. I see really interesting work that's happening as a result of them. I'm talking about the net societal, economic, and cultural effect of these issues. Let's see what we got here. Okay. The idea at Aaron Winters 6316, Aaron had a couple of different comments that I thought were pretty good. At Aaron Winters 6316 said the idea that any boss would let you daydream big concepts 7 hours a day because your 8 hours of deliverables got done in one is preposterous, which was one of the points that Chris Do was making in that future video, which I'll link to below. They will pile 700% more on you, as you say, or simply liquidate staff altogether. The joke on them, however, is that the clients will do the same to their agency. Chris Do has made a successful career out of sheer force of will, but he's foolish to think he's any more immune to this than the rest of us. And with Adobe going full steam ahead to decimate the pro market in favor of an exponentially larger consumer hobbyist model, shit is going to get real nuts real quick. That is absolutely correct. I mean, I think I have seen more Adobe, which is, I believe that I have seen more Adobe ads geared towards TikTok producers and the kind of creative content creator community than towards pros, because the market is larger. So, you know, this idea that again, that people are going to use Rust and people are going to be using machine language in mass, I think is just not actually accurate. It's exactly what Aaron Winters here is talking about, which is that shit is going to get real nuts real quick. Let's take another look at another comment here. That Sloppy Pastrami said, I led a team of retouchers years ago in e-commerce, and we had targets of 100 to 200 images a day each. With these tools, that number could easily become 2 to 4 times higher. Do the math, and that means that in an 8-hour day, you have 1.2 minutes to work on an image and check it for errors and fix what automation issues exist. Using ML, machine language, to generate mood board images, sure, but imagine being expected to crank out multiple high-quality and polished designs a day from idea to final deliverable. That sounds hellish. I honestly think that there is the complete potential that exact scenario is the future. Now, I don't think at design firms like Pentagram or 2x4, or, you know, at the absolute top of the market, that's going to happen. But we're talking about what is going to happen in mass culturally and how that's going to affect artists and designers. And I think the net positive, there is a danger that the net positive is far outweighed by the net negative. All right, let's take another look. I'm at MC Shopping Center said, I'm glad I ditched graphic design in '99 and got myself a few building trades instead. When a computer can plaster and tile a bathroom, then I'll be worried. Hashtag get a trade, if only to fall back on. You know, I talk at length in my on this channel about a skill stack, and I encourage people to build a skill stack. What is that? That is the idea that as a designer or as an artist, there are a nearly limitless amount of production skills that we can that we can learn. So, you know, if you look in my studio, there's 3D printing, there's a CNC machine in the other room, there's a screen print press behind there, there are video cameras. The point is that if you're going to, I think, be able to put food on the table creatively, establishing an effective skill stack, not one skill, but a skill stack, is a critical component of that. And when this person, I think the important point that this person is driving at is get a trade. I interpret that as this idea of work that machine learning and that robotics at this point can't actually do, right? Now, maybe nothing is going to be off the table, but the return of the real, that those things that exist within reality, that I made another video about the painter's predicament with regard to artificial intelligence, and the thesis that I had there was that a lot of this artificial intelligence is going to drive a return to the real, that at a very small end of the market is going to value to an even greater degree than that we currently do, those things which exist in the material world that are real, that cannot be derived technologically, like something like this. Let's see. Nope. See if we can find it here. Nope. Maybe that, or no. Where is it? Well, all of these things, and this is kind of off, but or something. No. Yeah, like something like this, right? like, these things that we see here, they're the products of the hand, and that they exist on a material plane. They have a materiality to them, and they are no, it's obvious, really. It's obvious. Let's move on. At ELEFUNTITUS_3132 says, AI entering into the arts is different than other industries being automated because, well, if you are an aestheticist, art is a type of spirituality for you, and we believe art is an interface with God or the sublime, etc. But all of the ease of access to technology and VR and unlimited content will be a battle for the human spirit. The only reason you can have to say no is if you believe handcrafted work is a direct link to the human soul. Now, I think that I don't think that every artist and every designer believes this. I actually agree with this person that there is a deeply spiritual component to the creative act. I spoke about that in the comment response video 2 videos ago. You can just look it up. I won't rehash it, but I completely agree with you. And I also think that that's one of the many reasons why that this explosion of AI is going to drive a return to the real. Let's take a look again here. It says here that the copyright issue is also massive. Quote unquote, let these companies steal everything that ever existed to make billions simply because they're the first to do it. The model was trained on the work of humans. I couldn't agree more, and this is one of the things that drives me absolutely fucking insane, right? Insane, is that, when I've watched a number of videos with the CEO of OpenAI, and the CEO wraps a lot of the language. They have an ethics team. What about the ethics of the people whose work? What about the ethics of leveraging the work of artists without their consent, without asking them, and without factoring in the ramifications to them in the future? So, this copyright issue is also massive. It's my understanding that there have been a number of lawsuits already raising this issue. Hopefully something productive will happen for human beings, for artists. At The Real Dio Brando says, finished images every 10 seconds, finished enough that your CEO isn't going to care about the hands or whatever stuff you think is important. Even worse, he's going to lean over your shoulder and add, quote, 4K, 8K, ultra high detail, trending on TikTok, masterpiece, close quote, to your prompt. I mean, I think this is a fairly poetic image, and in a commercial environment, I could see something like this actually happening. But for me, as an example, I no longer write the my YouTube video descriptions because ChatGPT can do it so much faster, and I actually don't think that the descriptions do anything. I also find it incredibly amusing to provide ChatGPT-4 with a description with the title of the video, and to see what ChatGPT thinks that the video is about. But as an example, in the prompt that I use for deriving the descriptions, of course I say SEO optimized and larded with hashtags and all that shit. So I think that this quote of, the CEO leaning over your shoulder and add, quote, 4K, 8K, ultra high detail, trending on TikTok, masterpiece to your prompt. They're going to be a kind of jockey. They're the design director, the creative director, the CEO, your client are going to be hanging over your shoulder, larding your prompts with this kind of shit. Let's take one last look here. We already addressed this in the recommendations. I'm having a hard time imagining anything worthwhile or memorable the graphic designers have ever done. I mean, what do they do really besides make Coca-Cola logos and porn? So again, 20-year-old Henry Earls, Cleon Peterson, Peter Shahalsky are the first 3 people that come to mind. So we're going to take a quick look at my analytics here, right? So I wanted to share my analytics with you because I've done something recently that I'd like to point out. So you can see here in the upper right-hand corner that I made $28.59 this month. So what, right? But I have a very small channel. I'd like it to be bigger. Some of the feedback that I have received is, why is the production on the YouTube channel fairly inconsistent? It's because it's a fairly thankless task. One of the reasons why I'm doing these comment response videos is an attempt to feel more connected to a community. So sound off in the comments. The other thing is that I put a thanks button at the bottom of the screen here. I put a thanks button at the bottom of the screen. Now, if you like, $24, and this is the worst money I've ever made, and oftentimes I don't get enough feedback on the work, which is a reflection, to a degree, it's a reflection of the quality of the videos. So the videos to some degree have a very small audience, or may just be bad. But what you can do is you can buy me a cup of coffee if you want, and you can like and subscribe. So I'm going to put this collection of what are these things called? QR codes on the screen. You can check below for the links, and I'll see you next time.